Well, all right, everybody. 320 is here, and I think we can already calm down a little bit with the thing everybody was freaking out about. And let's go over what's in the notes. I won't tell you what I had to go through to be able to play this, but it was hell. I'm on 1 hour of sleep and a broken dim, and figuring out which one it was not fun. So here we go. Star Citizen 3.20, the initial PTU patch notes. I'm kind of curious because I haven't even looked at these yet. This is actually the first time looking at them. I have been in Evocati, just so you know, and I have played this PTU, and I have played, I think, all of the features here, unless something new came into this build. But I will say the first thing that sticks out is Wave 1 and 2 is there. Ah, Jetstream, thank you.
For the RAM sticks.
So Wave 1 and 2 was the initial wave. So there was no... It went bang, right to Wave 1 and 2. There was no Wave 1, then Wave 2. So they kind of are doing some things. There are only 2 server regions, so be aware of that. And then known issues we'll get back to. Let's focus on features. That's what you guys care about. Seraphim Station. We saw an ISC with this, and this is simply the replacement for Port Olisar. Doesn't really matter or mean anything. These are the things that matter. Gameplay. With quotes around it, but gameplay. Automated cargo transfer and new cargo packing system. So Alpha 320 includes the addition of the new automated cargo transferal experience to the PU for the whole C exclusively. Kind of. So there's just that for the whole C, but then there's other things for other stuff that we'll get to. So essentially, you will go to... Let's read through the whole thing because I don't want to get this wrong. The existing cargo transaction system with which other ships will still use for this release will instantly pop all of the purchased cargo into a ship or instantly remove all sold cargo off the ship after the transaction's completed, other than the whole C. The whole C can only grab cargo from space stations. It cannot grab them from the ground. So keep that in mind. The whole C, however, requires a new experience where the player, after buying or selling cargo at the commodity kiosk, will be prompted to pick it up or drop it off at a loading area. To do so, the player retrieves their vehicle and then hails the location's cargo services to get assigned a loading area, similar to getting assigned a landing area from ATC. So you'll open your Mobiglass and find it. I don't know if there's a automated keybind for that, like we have for calling ATC. I doubt it. After flying their ship to the loading area, they will be prompted to stop moving, extend their spindles on their ship. Once the ship is ready, cargo will be added onto the cargo grids of the ship over a period of approximately 5 or so minutes, depending on the size of the load. Currently, these boxes will pop into place. If the player moves or someone enters the area, the transfer will be interrupted until this disruption is addressed or the loading area is eventually revoked. After transfer is completed, the successful... by the way, tons of trolling is going to happen. The successful player will be prompted to leave the area, eventually getting a warning for impounding if they do not. With the changes for the Hull C, this is I think the more important thing. The Hull C is a big ship that the only place you can buy and sell from are cargo deck stations, like stations that have docking or whatever, right? So there's not a lot of places you can buy and sell from. I will be perfectly honest with you. I was never able in Evocati to buy or sell anything because it was so crashy. And then I was unable to install the game because of Mr. Ramdisk. So I never got to test it in a stable environment. So I actually don't know where to go. So we will try to figure that out, or I'll walk through it with my Twitch chat today. Now, I think this is the big change, and I think this is what matters. With the changes for the Hull C come a complete rewrite to how the cargo system places cargoes into ships. This is any ship, not just the Hull C. Previous versions of the system dealt with only one SCU containers and could use Fairly simple logic for placement or removal. We are now supporting various size boxes to be placed in the cargo holds 1, 2, 4, 8, 16, 24, and 32, as well as supporting various orientations of placement on the grid to work around grid obstructions. This also includes temporary tractor beam strength, changes to support the attachment detachment of those various size boxes using the tractor beam. So it will automatically, if you get 32 SCU of something, you will get a 32 SCU box if that box fits in your ship. If it doesn't, maybe you'll get a 24 and a 16. Maybe you'll get an 8, 4 8s. It'll figure it out. It does its own Tetris. I don't think we manage it, but I think maybe one day we will be able to. But in a limited capacity, because I don't think the game will ever again allow us to do more than 10 to 15 1 SCU boxes. That's my guess. Okay. Then we have new mission, illegal salvage cover-up mission. I have, again, never been able to try this, so a little bit bummed out. Salvage cover-up, we've seen on ISC. Essentially, it's a mission from the tar pits, which is illegal, an illegal mission where you have to strip the hull of a Ninetales ship to prevent their involvement in a crime. So you scrape the entire hull and remove the Ninetales paint job before the ship's evidence is discovered by security. So there you go. Agatsu, yes. It wasn't fun, though. Then underground facilities, the Rastar update. You can go watch ISC. I'm not talking about this because this is a joke, and I hate everything about it. Okay? Sorry, I know I got to be the news person. I'm going to be the news person. The Rastar update is literally them having variations to the stupid place things outside of a bunker that don't do anything. And they made it sort of sound like it was going to be the interiors, and it wasn't. And it really, really pissed me off. Okay, so gameplay, wheeled vehicle handling improvements. Haven't seen this yet either, so very much looking forward to this. AI ship difficulty rebalance. Another cool thing. So this will be a new change where every ship available to QT is in the mix for both criminals and civilians. Though some didn't make sense for criminals, have not been added, like the Cutlass Blue. This update which the funny thing is the Cutlass Blue is used by criminal players more than anybody. So they should probably fix that, because we make the lore, not them. And that's what they need to start realizing. Guys, I am on 1 hour sleep. I'm spicy today. I'm not salty. I'm spicy Mike today. So just bear with me, okay? This update includes a full AI ship rebalance of difficulties. I don't think it matters because Star Citizen servers, but hopefully we'll see a difference. The ships have been divided into difficulty bands, which have mainly been derived from large data sets based on PvP analytics. Finally, we've also made a new ship difficulty band of very hard, which is now reflecting in the very hard bounty and assassination missions. Okay. Vaulting and mantling. This is a big one. So I would argue this is our first Squadron 42 feature that has been pulled over to Star Citizen for real. Something that we saw at CitizenCon. This is the first CitizenCon 2022 thing that has been pulled over to 2023, as far as I'm aware. Implementing updated vaulting and mantling improvements that make the process much more smooth and intuitive for players. This update allows players to now be able to grab on ledges while running and jumping, low and high vault while running and or in midair, and allows high/low mantle while running and or in midair. Cutlass pilots, you don't have to open your back anymore. You can go in the side of your ship. That's just so you know. Go to the very far left or far right, depending on which side ship you're looking at, towards the front of the ship. Jump and mantle. It's going to work. Okay. Bug fixes. A lot of these tend to be bug fixes from the Evo patch, so not necessarily super relevant. I'll see if I see the word mining. If I don't see the word mining, then there's no need to read any of it because it's all Evo bugs that they pull over because they don't actually do it. There it is. That is a bug from Evo. So it's not... I don't believe that's what we're working with here. So let's move into Arena Commander. We know we've been following this for a very, very long time. What are you doing? Oh, you could have come in. I thought you were talking to me. Emmy went to grab the scale. Okay, so Arena Commander updates. All the stuff we've been talking about for what? 8 months? Something like that. DJ's here. Sorry, I'm going to breeze over these because we know everything at this point for the most part. Unified lobby system, spawning and loadout module refactor, right? So we could spawn into other players' ships in Arena Commander. New rewards, a pirate aggressor badge, although they have said that they want to do proper rewards in the future. We don't have those yet. Unlocking the 2953 Pirate Aggressor also grants access to the Pirate Gladius Caterpillar Edition for the Pledge Store pages. And then these are badges. Is this correct, DJ? I'm assuming. These are forum badges for doing any of these things. Yeah? Okay. So Reach Wave 25 of Endless Vandal Swarm. Unless you've rebalanced that since we played it, that's crazy, which I imagine they have. 2953, win a match of Gun Rush. I can't wait to try that. Win a match of Tank Commander in any tank game mode. And then AC Experimental Tester, finish any experimental mode. Experimental modes. So experimental modes are Gun Rush, which you might be familiar from Call of Duty. Basically, you'll start with like a pistol. When you kill somebody, you automatically get a new gun that's quote-unquote better, and you go up and up and up until somebody gets the last gun, gets a kill, and wins. Tank Royale, pretty self-explanatory. Team Tank Battle, also self-explanatory. Single weapon elimination, we like, which I think is starting with pistols only. Correct me if I'm wrong there. Duel, 2 Fury, 2 Furious. So that's cool. Master modes, Free Fly, Endless Duel, and Vandal Free Flight, Duel, and Endless Vandal Swarm. Endless Vandal Swarm is very cool. Highly recommend if you guys are in Wave 1 and 2 right now. Master Modes test is also there. So this is something where essentially the speed is slowed down. Speed is now limited when in SCM mode. The use of Afterburner can push slightly beyond SCM speed as long as you have boost capacitor with greater push in the forward direction. New nav mode that disables weapon shields but gives access to higher top speed. Swapping between modes has a spool up period. We know all this stuff. Gladius has updated ship tunings to go with this mode. And I assume the test is only with the Gladius still. Weapon capacitor pool is increased in baseline, but regen is less impacted by priority triangle. Ammo for the Mantis is higher. Old gimbal system of weapon size going down 1 to accommodate gimbals has been replaced with a flat 20% reduction in fire rate on the same weapons. So fire rate is changed if you use gimbals now. So fixed, you have the best fire rate, and I don't know how good of an idea that is, but I guess for PvE players, they won't care. But if you're PvPing, you have to go fixed now, 100%, I feel like. Targeting bracket has been updated, and it's a bit weird. Central HUD symbology for targeting has changed, including to bore sight, orientation arrow, gimbal designation, and pips. Yeah, it's all very weird. It's going to take some changes. Tricording is no longer possible. The strongest acceleration axis is forward. Pitch and yaw cannot be combined anymore. Gladius agility was increased. Boost and regen were adjusted. This is the thing I've had the hardest time dealing with. It's been incredibly difficult. Tricording is strafing forward, strafing left, and up all at the same time. It gives you you can hit 30 Gs by doing that. It's how people are evasive and are very difficult to hit. So it's made the game incredibly challenging for people who don't know how to do this. And I think that they wanted to like bring the skill ceiling down a little. It was also as a non-strong player, I think it also made the game feel a little bit weird. But speaking to strong players, being able to tricord is a skill, and it made it super difficult for me as a non-strong player to learn, to adapt to somebody who knows how to do it. And yeah, I mean, people going really fast, 30 Gs. It was weird. I would love to see being able to tricord and be in SCM speeds, and see what that looked like, which I guess you could theoretically just test, but with speed limiters. But that would have that might have been interesting. But yeah, I'm not the person to speak on this. I just know that the new Master Modes test I really struggled with. Press B to swap modes between nav and SCM. SCM allows higher capacity regen rate, shields, and weapons, but restricts max speed. Thrust boost afterburner will temporarily allow you to extend beyond that. We just heard that. Nav allows you high speed, but no shields and weapons. Also heavily restricts regen rates, so you can't regen while in it, while running as easily. Swapping between master modes is not immediate. Shield to face health is stored in a buffer up to a certain ratio when going from SCM to nav. So when going from nav to SCM, that buffer will be quickly pushed back into the faces. The shield face generation from that buffer cannot be interrupted by incoming fire. That one's interesting. Gun rate changes. New aiming system is enabled. Combined fixed assist was removed. Fixed assist per gun was added. Auto gimbal mode. Instead of keeping the 8-degree cone, you need to keep the target roughly around your aim point, and your gimbals will track. When auto gimbals are not tracking, they will act like manual gimbals. Fixed modes. There's one pip projectile now. Well, per the speed group. You will see one pip for the KLWEs and one for the GATSs. Manual gimbal mode has now fixed assist for each gun. They show precision lines. New target bracket, drastically increased ballistic ammo. We told them that fucking 2 years ago, but here we are still. Shield layout, custom weapon status for the Gladius weaponry. New shield layout for the Gladius now front and back. Button changes. R is closest hostile. T is closest hostiles in view. 5 is cycle all views. Auto targeting if no target is present. Or you press left alt R. The closest visible hostile will be targeted. Adding bindings allows settings to default convergence distance directly from input access. However, there's no UI for this yet. Tank battle. Maps. Security boost Korea. Bro. Are you kidding me? Where are the actual changes? Bro, there are huge changes that are not in here. Holy crap. Guys, Torsten took mining and flipped it on its head. Okay? So I will give you some patch notes that literally aren't in here. Did I skip over them? Am I crazy? It's literally not here. What? They put in underground facilities updates. PTU doesn't get full notes. They're still getting written. I mean, they were in the a PTU patch before. I will explain it to you then. To the best of my ability, there are changes to the way things are distributed. Again, so any basically anything that Red Monster SC had to do, he has to redo. There's changes to the way things are distributed. I actually don't know how that works entirely yet. Instability, the bug is gone. The instability bug is gone. It has been fixed, and there is a whole new way that instability works, and it's really fucking cool. Okay? Instability works. I'll just go into full mode. Instability works like this now. It now affects the charge rate. So the rate in which your laser goes up into the green or red zones. So from the bottom, it no longer affects the charge power. So when it was affecting the charge power, it would go down below the starting zone, so you would never get to see it. So you would think that you couldn't break a rock when you theoretically could, or definitely could, but the instability was doing things it should never have done, right? So now, if you're able to charge a rock up, your thing will go up. The rate at which it goes up depends on instability. Instability is now not just influenced by the rock's statistics, it's also influenced by the amount of power you put into your laser. Instability will be higher when you're at laser percentage 100 than when it is at the minimum laser power. So this has now introduced an insane amount of skill into potentially an insane amount of skill. I've seen very easy experiences, and I've seen some really interesting ones in my testing, but it means that mining is going to be more skillful, and you're going to have to think a little bit, especially in multi-crew, because if you put too much power in, your instability could get a little crazy. And now it's about getting, all right, laser number 3, I need you at this place. Laser number 2, Mike leaking patch notes. Jake's here. Jake, there's no patch notes for the mining changes. So I'm just telling them what they are, just from my knowledge. So they're not public. This specific one is in Evo notes, but not in live. So I'm just telling them from my experiences. If I'm leaking, fucking sue me. I don't care at this point. Hell. Who cares? So anyway, the amount of power you put in affects instability. So now you're going to want to keep your laser stabilized, because let me tell you something, the laser power will go like this now if you have too much instability. So if you are able to push the laser up and your instability is incredibly high, this is what will happen. It will just go all the way up to the top. It will shoot up. So you have to pull your laser down. It will yeet up. It won't go like this. It now just goes like this. Yeah, like the fact that there's no patch watch or anything I think people are going to go into mining and be like, what's going on? If they go into it at all. You know, it's not one of the major change. Show again, I missed it. It goes like this, okay? So so anyway, oh, you do it closer to all waves. I don't know. What you guys do. I can't follow anymore. But and by the way, I'm spicy Mike today, so you're gonna have to deal with me. The things I've gone through to just get Star Citizen on my computer. Again, really long video, so I'm trying to get how this works. So let's say you have 3 lasers on your mole. In one of the situations that I was practicing with somebody was that we were like, all right, you put your laser at 40%. I'll put my laser at 30%. Okay, you put your laser at 40%. And so everybody was involved. And that's a big deal. Right? I always run my laser at 39% max, and that's enough to break the stones in my prospector. All stones? I don't think so. Maybe there's a little bug there. Are you an Evo member? Did you play Wave 1 or whatever? Or are you talking about on 319? Because 320 and 319 are very different now. So outside of that, 319, yeah, it's all changing. So that won't be a thing. So it's super cool. The only thing that I have noticed is if you are able to get the laser power to go up, you can kind of just sit back. You don't have to put a lot of power into it, and it will go up very slowly, and it will stay very slowly while you're in the green zone. So it can be very easy, but if you do have a high instability rock, It's not easy. The other thing is instability numbers are going to look very different, potentially up to 100 times what you have seen in the past. So a 1.6, a 2.6 instability on a rock was kind of a lot. Now you're going to see 100, 50, 60. So the numbers are going to look different now. Another change that I have not tested that is potentially coming is check out salvage missions and see how much cargo is inside them. Because all salvage missions should have a lot more cargo in them and should be much more valuable to do outside of hull scraping. All right. So that is CIG patch notes plus SaltEMike patch notes for you guys. I hope that helped. I will do my best to put up some video, or whatever with this, and hope you guys are enjoying 320, and we'll see what happens. Just a real quick at the end here before we go is we have the PTU feedback changes. I mean, this should be put in the patch notes, but instability no longer affects laser power. Instability instead will affect transfer rate. It now scales with rock size. I didn't say that. Laser power has impact on instability, which the higher laser power causes higher instability. Rock type now correlates to the presence of specific elements. So C-type rocks will have certain things in them, where that wasn't a thing in 319. It was just random. So now if you're looking for a certain type rock, if you can see the type, you know that the thing that you're looking for might be in it. And then they want some feedback. How punishing do you find the updated mechanic? How predictable do you find instability? Are you countering instability? And if so, how is still stability generally better, worse than before? They need your feedback. They want your feedback. And yeah, I think this is a better change, but it can still be tweaked. And I think it could get better. We can instill more skill. We can make it more difficult or less difficult, depending on how people are experiencing it. So that's where I am. But the one thing that should never change is instability will instead impact transfer rate. I think that is 100% the right decision. Everything else can be tweaked. It's awesome. So if you like mining, you're going to love this change. I don't see how you can't. Just saying.